Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday PD.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
I'm Dr. Sheka Houston,
And I am Tammy Taylor.
and we're welcoming you to our R.E.A.L.L Academy. We wanted to do a quick introduction to, if anyone is new, just let you know why we are doing what we do every Saturday. Tammy and I were both turnaround principals. We, with our great staff members, were able to bring our schools. I was at a middle school up 2 report card grade levels, and Tammy's school went up 3 report card grade levels in 1 year. And in order to try to help people not experience the pitfalls that we did, we decided to try to offer something that would help leaders, because we know that during this time, things are a lot more difficult before, with the pandemic going on. So we just want to try to help people as much as possible. Our website really defines exactly what we do. So Tammy is going to bring that on the screen, and I'm going to show you exactly what we do.
Absolutely. And while we're bringing up the website, we know that the struggle with administration is real. So, as Sheka said, paying this forward is something that's really important to us.
Definitely. So as you can see, Create and Educate is our business where we offer educational consulting, and we are a literary firm as well. So we work with educators and also other organizations. NWEA recognized the work that took place at Tammy's school and is one of our affiliates, as you can see here on our website. They conducted a case study that is outlined. If you go to the website, just click on it. You can see all of the information from the case study. And Tammy is also a contributor to the NWEA blog. So when you have some time, make sure you check that out. Why you should be listening to us. This gives you all of the information about our background. Between the two of us, we have over 40 years of experience at the school level. We've been in various leadership positions, and we have basically instituted several programs and received lots of recognition in our state for the things that we've done at the school. So just take some time to read through that. But the services that we offer in education include our SEL reading program that we're going to talk about today. And our catalog is also on the website. When you click here, it will outline what we are really very proud of, and that is our 5 super strengths to a real resilient school. These are really the things that helped take our schools to the next level. And these 5 super strengths are respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership. So we work with school leaders, school leadership teams to make sure that you are instituting these strategies to help your school really become resilient. So if you go through the catalog, it goes through our complete framework, including what we offer on literacy, as well as how your school can become a certified Phoenix school. And lastly, the other resources that we offer, if you need some things that engages your staff or your parents, the collaborative is something that we host on Tuesdays, and you can click here to go to the previous broadcast. But a lot of times you need things to introduce a topic, or maybe you just need a different voice. You can use any of these free videos that we have from the collaborative to engage your staff members and your parents. And we also have our catalog where we work with independent authors to be able to bring you more diverse libraries and literature offerings to your students. And if you have not reserved your copy of It Doesn't Have to Be Lonely at the top, that roller coaster ride journey that we talked about in leadership is all outlined in our book, along with how we instituted those things from the R.E.A.L framework to really help improve our schools. So if you haven't reserved your copy of that, you're able to do that on the website, or purchase our previous book from our website where we were featured in Women Who Lead. And if you haven't already followed us on the different platforms, our platforms are listed at the bottom of the website. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We have a Spreaker page, Twitter, and also Instagram. So thank you so much. And we are ready to get started. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Diona. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to run down our list really quickly. And Diona is joining us as our guest principal this morning. We are so happy to have her because Tammy is under the weather and not feeling well, and her family is battling some sickness. So be in prayer for them. Good morning, Arcella and Cindy. And we have Mr. Davis from Las Vegas. Sanitra, good morning. Good morning, Principal Kafele. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Josh. Yes, Josh, I got to work on my steps. Good morning, Mr. Hicks. Principal Baggage, thank you for joining us. And Mr. Horton, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being here with us this morning. And we actually, the topic that was posted about parenting, we actually changed a little bit midstream because Tammy has had a new blog post that was released just recently by NWEA. And it is just really a phenomenal blog post. NWA is one of our affiliates, as you saw on our website, but she is actually a contributor to their blog. And her blog for the month of February, and it's posted now on our website. We're going to go through it, but I hope you go to the website and read it in its entirety because it is just phenomenal. And I'm not saying that because Tammy's my partner and my friend, and it really is truly a great, great article. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. I read it, and even in reading it, I'm just like, all I could do is just, it has a lot of good key points.
It really does. But the title is To My Black Principal Sisters, How to Build a Genuine Sisterhood. And she talks about her experience as an African-American woman in leadership, in school leadership in particular. And I thought it would be great for Principal Clingman to join us for this topic because she's also a principal. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. And I actually just met her through networking right here on our page. She's, has tuned in several times, joined one of our book clubs. So we've collaborated there. So it's really, what Tammy and I are all about. But she is a principal at Daly Elementary in Mount Morris, Michigan. She's been in education for 19 years. She started as a teacher and a behavior interventionist, and she has been in leadership for 6 years. So thank you for joining us, Principal Clingman.
It is an honor to be here. Thanks for even asking me.
But in Tammy's blog post, and because this is Black History Month, I felt that this is very much appropriate. And also the fact that NWEA recognizes that diversity and having her as a contributor and having our voices heard is, something that is very important. So I'm glad that her blog is there and that her voice is being heard because this is a national organization. So the amount of reach that this will be able to gain, I think, is a very, very big thing. But she talks about her journey in the principalship, how she felt overwhelmed. She was criticized. It was constant conflict, a very unhealthy and competitive spirit that was there, and just how difficult that was to navigate. But after making sure she joined forces with myself, another sister of ours in a neighboring district, Principal Kimberly Odom, we were able to form more of an alliance to try to support one another and build one another up. She also mentions how, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, only 11% of principals are African American. And then out of that number, it's a smaller percentage that are African American women that are represented. So please make sure you are chiming in, sharing on your pages, and we don't want our African American males to tune out, because a great part of what she mentions in the article also includes you and how we have to work together in order to, advance things in not just education, but in general. What were some things starting off that you saw, Principal Clingman?
So for me, the part that really stuck out for me was when she talked about Dr. Clenora Hudson Weems's work.
Mm-hmm.
In the article, she says that, echoing the conviction of women in my family, that we must work together and build each other up if we are to live meaningful and successful lives. That really resonated with me, because if we are a small population as African American women, a lot of times we talk about, with our staff, there's non-negotiables. This needs to become a non-negotiable.
Right.
When we have to work together, because we understand what each other are going through. And for me, reading this article, it was breathtaking, because I've been feeling this, and somebody who I have never met is telling me about their experiences, and I'm going, me too. So when we see each other or we meet each other and we find out that we are leaders, we definitely have to connect.
Definitely. And the thing that, really resonated with me about Dr. Clenora Hudson Weems' work in Africana womanism, this is a lot of what Tammy's dissertation is about, and it compares feminism, which her research shows how some of that kind of pits men and women against one another. But in Africana womanism, it takes it really from the lens of the true African American or the African culture experience, in that for our fight, it's much different, because we have to join forces to be able to advance and make things better for our entire community and our children. So it's not just a women thing or a woman thing or women power. It is about empowering women, but along with men, African American men, along with our children, because we all have to do this work together. And that's the thing of it that was so powerful for me, because feminism really never really resonated with me. But this is something I can definitely see, because my dad was an African American man, my husband, my brothers, so why would I want to be pitted against that? So I really can identify with Africana womanism over feminism and their ideologies.
Yeah, culturally, anyway, when you think of all aspects, especially of, the African American culture, everything is rooted into family and working together. And it's just very disheartening for me, because so many of the images that you see on TV anyway, especially with African American women, is that we have to bicker and fight, and that is not true. And this article is just so, like I said, breathtaking for me, because I love celebrating with my sisters. I admire, when I see, us doing great things, and instead of feeling like I need to compete, or I'm trying to, I want to learn. What can I learn from you? Even just, I admire, I don't know Tammy, but I look at you guys every weekend, and I'm very impressed, and it makes me want to do more. It doesn't make me want to feel like I want to take over your platform. It makes me feel like you are an inspiration. And so we have to, again, just really work together.
We do. And thank you. I appreciate that. And it's a meme that I've had posted on my personal page, where I think it's former First Lady Michelle Obama, and she and our new Vice President are kind of like pointing at one another. But it
I love that one.
Yes, it says, you can't compete with me because I want us all to win. And that is just a true sentiment for me, because Tammy and I probably gravitated towards one another too in our district, because we were not about that competitive spirit or trying to bring somebody else down in order to elevate ourselves. It's not how we were raised. It's not what we're about. And when we met people that she mentioned in the article, like Dr. Sharon Porter and Dr. Melissa Chester and Dr. Clenora Hudson Weems, it's like, wow, this is so great that women like this exist, because we had not experienced it besides one another. And, we want to cultivate more of this in African-American women in leadership. We don't have to tear each other down to be great. We really do need to network and, come together. And so that's one of the things that we love about our platform. We have been able to connect with great people like yourself and Dr. Ross Gaskins and everybody that tunes in, Mr. Hicks, Principal Baggage, just such a great network of people who are in support of one another. And so I will send you that article, Principal Cafe. Like, it is phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that because it's Tammy. It really, truly, truly is. And Arcella, thank you. And just the amount of support and how we want to pay it forward and support other people that we've never met that are in other states. People send us messages all the time about help for, XYZ. And I'm more than willing to help, because I know what that feels like to be in a position to need help with something, but you don't have anyone in your reach to be able to help you with that. So if I have it, I'm going to give it to you, because somebody did that for me. And that's the right thing to do, and it's going to impact children. It's going to impact our community. So, just being able to see the bigger picture and having like-minded people with you to do that. But the other thing that the article talks about, there's 18 elements that go along with Africana womanism. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Clenora Hudson Weems' framework, it is absolutely phenomenal. And we're hoping to have her on our platform for the collaborative for the month of March, when we are celebrating Women's History. It is phenomenal. And the article is actually on our website. I've linked it on there, www.createandeducate.solutions. Tammy's blog post article is on there. So if you would like to see it, please go there and visit the website. But the other part that she talks about is just those things from Africana womanism that, help women self-naming and self-defining. One of the things that I think as an African-American woman, and we talked about this, Principal Clingman, just, not being labeled in education and in society. And you talked about even how you have to monitor your facial expressions. And I have to do the same thing too, because I'm one of those people that I wear what I'm feeling. So it's really easy to tell, like, what's going on. Or like you said, sometimes I'm a processor because I'm an introvert. And sometimes I'm just really deep in thought and processing and thinking about something. But, you get that label, oh, the angry Black woman, or, this, that, and the other. So you really have to monitor everything that you're doing, because we're up under so much scrutiny.
And you don't really realize it. Like, it's just, this conversation is helping me so much, just in general. But I think that you don't realize how many thoughts that you're thinking that to not allow you to come across as being the angry Black woman. And it's like, why do I have to do this? Or you hesitate to say something because it's like, okay, am I going? How is this going to be perceived when I'm really coming from a place of love, or I'm, trying to give you the feedback, but it's just, I didn't realize how stressful that is, because you're thinking so much before you say or do things. And like you said, you do. It's almost like you have to have a disclaimer, well, you look mean. I'm sorry. I hope my actions, have to. And it's sad that we're always having to apologize. I'm sorry for this. And it's like at some point you do have to get to a point where you just have to empower yourself and know that sometimes if someone is perceiving you to be that way, you hopefully if they come to you, your conversation is enough to know that I'm not the angry Black woman, or I'm not judging you. You have to know your own worth, not to think because somebody is looking a certain way that they're thinking that about you. Because I would like, did I do something to you? I'm quick to get that clarification. So I didn't realize how stressful it was. I just thought it was an everyday thing that I needed to do. And no, it really shouldn't have to be that way.
And it shouldn't. And also, anger is a real emotion. And sometimes I am angry. I'm supposed to be angry about inequities that I see every day in children who look like me, children who are treated differently, children who are in a system that really was not designed for them to succeed. And I'm seeing the results of that. That's not something I'm supposed to be happy about. So if you mistake my passion as anger, you are the person with the problem, not me, because you're using that as a premise to not hear what I'm saying. But what you actually should be doing is listening, because if you actually listened, we might be able to get somewhere.
And when we talk about that collaboration, it's also good, to have that system because it's good for our mental health. Like you say, I know you talk how you and Tammy, collaborated, and that collaboration does not always it may not always center around academics. You need that person because leadership is lonely sometimes, and it doesn't have to be, but when you are a classroom teacher, you probably can go to your colleague, go in your room and, we vent about it and then come back out. You have, Tammy, I have a couple of colleagues that I've, went through, and they're now in leadership. I have a friend, her name is Crescenda. She's a leader as well. And then I have another leader friend, her name is Nina. They're both, we're always, either calling each other either for that support or, just to talk about some things that other people may not be able to relate to. And I am very grateful, for those two leaders, because they are African-American women that are in the same position that I am in.
That is awesome. And I'm glad that you have that and that we were able to connect, and that Absolutely. So many of us are able to connect and help one another that are on the platform, because that's what it's all about. And I just want, before we run out of time, because we this time goes by so fast, but she lists some tips to building that genuine sisterhood. And one is don't view other Black women as direct competition. It's not about competing. You can be great in your space. I can be great in my space. It's really not a competition, because, and I always say this, at the end of the day, what's the prize? What are we competing for? We can both be, everybody can be great.
And it's your differences that when you come together, and it's even greater.
That's right. The next one is being approachable. And sometimes, when you're in an environment that has been cultivated with such toxicity, sometimes it is hard to know, who you can trust and who you can't trust. And you have to use your intuition for those things. But, just be approachable, be open to people. And if anything that I'm reading, you want to chime in, Principal Clingman, just do.
Okay.
And refuse to be self-conscious about everything. And she goes into some great information about that, about being organic and having that self-confidence. And then celebrating your sisters, which is something that we're definitely all about and have witnessed with the things that the people that she mentions in the article, Dr. Porter, Dr. Melissa Nolan Chester, the women that are on the platform today, who are always sharing our posts, sharing our feed. Latrice Younger, she is the founder of Black Women Education Leaders, which is a nonprofit. She's another person that is doing great work in our field that I just love the way she celebrates other Black women, and we celebrate her as well. And she's someone that we're going to also have on our platform. But just the fact that, I'm happy that NWEA invited Tammy to be a contributor to the blog, and I'm glad that her blog gives a voice to things that are important in our community in education, to not just African Americans in general, but African American women for this particular blog post. So if you would go to our website so you can read the article in its entirety and share it, because it is such a phenomenal article. And we'll post when we're going to have Dr. Clenora Hudson-Weems on, who is phenomenal. And so she can talk about those elements of Africana womanism, because I just love that whole premise.
Yeah, I think even going back to like in the tips where it's refused to be self-conscious, I think that probably should be bolded, circled, highlighted, just stand out, because it's okay for us to make mistakes. And that one mistake that we make, we don't have to hold it on for so long or always think because you made a mistake, what do you now everybody, there's so many thoughts that we always think, and I'm speaking from experience. You have to encourage yourself a lot in this field, because sometimes people are not going to tell you thank you, or they may not tell you that they admire you, or things of that nature. But you have to be confident in yourself, and you have to make sure that you are affirming yourself, because if you got to wake up every morning and tell yourself some affirmations, do that.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because education is already that thankless profession. Yes. But I think as you move up in leadership, it becomes even more thankless. So you are exactly right. You have to have that voice in yourself where you're encouraging yourself. And because we know that as leaders, we have to be intentional about encouraging one another. So I thank you for the work that you do every day, Principal Clingman, in your school, and what you do for the community, for Black children, for children in general. And just being somebody that, I could easily reach out to and say, hey, can you help me out? And you were there. So I appreciate that.
Well, I thank you for the invite. I thank you for your work. I will continue to follow. It is an honor that you even asked me. Actually, when you reached out to me, I think I was in the drive-thru yesterday getting food. And I'm like, wait, was this for me? Is she asking me? So I was very honored. And, it was nothing, to say yes. So if you ever need anything or need me again, I'll definitely be there.
Well, thank you so much. And Dr. Ross has also helped me out in the past before. So thank you all for tuning in. We are over our time. We're going to get out the way. Principal Clingman is going to put her contact information in the box here, so you all can get in touch with her if you need anything from her. And I've put our website there where the article can be read from NWEA and Tammy. And thank you all so much. Join us over on Principal Kafele's page for the next part of the PLN, the Fabulous Five. Josh has named us. So thank you all for tuning in, and have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you again.
Have a great weekend, everyone.